Good morning, everybody. It's Sydney Walker with Coffee and Politics Online, and today we are joined here by Chief Comeaux, the troublemaker. I say troublemaker, but he was really the comedian during the chief meet and greet, and it was a pleasure listening to your miniature stand-up show during that time.
Well, I appreciate that. I love to do stand-up, and I would try to do it, more, but being the chief, everybody would record it, and they would hold my comedian words against me, and I can't do it.
Yes, they would. So, as you know, you have been the talk of the town, and you've only been here for 1 year.
Yeah,
I know
1 year and a few days now.
I know it must feel like forever.
I think 1 year of Major City Chief life equals probably about 5 regular years of life. I think I've aged 5 years.
Well, you're aging very gracefully. So we are happy to have you here. I will say that I have probably gotten on Lieutenant Tremise's nerves because I have emailed her 9 million times, especially after I had Chief Arredondo on the show.
Okay.
Because he spoke so highly of the Dallas Police Department, the skills that our police officers get with the training, the experience. I mean, we're a major city. So I wanted you to know how awesome your staff is and the recruits and what your police officers, gain by being here, and to use that as a marketing tool to get new hirees. So how's that been going with the hirees?
Look, it's going extremely well. We're one of the few major police departments that can say we have more police officers here in 2026 than we did in the last 13 years. So,
oh my gosh, really?
Yes. Recruiting is going extremely well. Every single class over the last year, we've put over 50 recruits in that class. And back in November, we had the second largest class in the history of DPD.
I remember that.
Was
yes.
over 70 with approximately 19 women in it, which was the second largest.
Oh, that's monumental.
Class. Yeah.
Yes.
So, recruiting is still on fire. We're doing extremely well. We're doing well locally and throughout the United States. We're getting recruits from the United States.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. Everyone,
wow.
People out there in the law enforcement.
Yes.
Yeah, well, people understand in law enforcement that the Dallas Police Department is one of the best police departments in the United States. And I'm telling everyone, we are the most proactive police department in the United States. And people who want to come in law enforcement want to be able to be proactive. It doesn't matter what zip code I go into in Dallas. Everybody wants to just be safe.
Yes, we do. So that is great to know. And I will say I went to a breakfast for the Mandela exhibit that's coming in June. So make sure that you go to the African American Museum. And I saw some of the new recruits. I was kind of blown away because I'm a mom, and they look like babies to me. And one had his, weapon, his Glock on him, and I was like, "Ooh, like you outside like that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot, y'all have been recruited," and I'm not used to seeing them that young.
Yeah.
So with changing the education requirements for the recruits, how has that impacted the quality? Because some of us were a little concerned that we weren't requiring college credits and some college experience for them to come on to the force.
Well, look, I'll talk about myself. If it wasn't for me being an athlete, I would have never gone to college, and I still think I would have been a great police officer. College doesn't define a police officer. But the thing that you have to do is you still have to get through our 10-month academy. And none of that has changed. It's the exact same requirements as before, and if not even harder today than it was in the past.
What makes it harder today than it was in the past?
Well, focusing, right? 10 months grinding. Most academies for police officers are 6 months, and some departments have 4-month academies. The Dallas Police Department is 10 months. It's one of the longest police departments academies. Yes.
4 months? 6 months? To get out there and not to shame or take away from those police departments, but I mean, 10 months sounds very reasonable to me. So what are you guys spending more time on that other departments may not be doing that you guys are?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Reality-based training. So we're putting the officers in real scenarios that they're going to see out on the street. And some of it now is virtual also. And the virtual training that we're utilizing through SMU really puts them in real life situations for different cultures and different situations. So we really practice and work on that.
That's great, because I know with my troublemakers and, you know, with the oversight board, cultural sensitivity, and just, you know, mental health awareness has been a big thing. And of course, you know, about the Right Care team and the assistance that they provide to kind of take some of those things off of your plate. Because that was one of the things when Chief Hall was here. She felt like the officers were having to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And everyone was trying to put more and more and more on the police officer's plate. And she was like, we need assistance. And there are things that you don't want the police officers to do. So with that situational training and reality training, you know, what kind of feedback are you getting from, you know, your trainers with the recruits?
Yeah, so it makes the officers better prepared when they come out to deal with any and all situations. Because from day to day, you don't know what you're going to be dealing with.
Right.
So we have to make them well-rounded, well-versed. And this training here is just very helpful to get them ready. And at first, I was nervous about our 10-month academy because it's longer.
Yes.
And I would think any other police department in the state of Texas.
You have enough room.
So, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay.
I think we have the longest police department for the academy. And so I was a little nervous about that when it comes to recruiting. But what I'm realizing is our recruits, when they hit the street from day one, are better prepared. And those extra 4 months are important to get them better prepared so they can serve everyone in Dallas better.
Oh, wow. So all of you, my followers, new followers that are always criticizing the police department and saying we need to hurry up and get more people hired. This man, you have come in hitting the ground running when it came to that. And I will say this, because we remember when Chief Hall was here, and it felt like she was constantly under the gun and being pressured. And she was turning out numbers. Of course, they weren't as significant as yours. And then when Chief Garcia came, it just kind of seemed like it was silent. And then all of a sudden, when you came on board, even after Igo left, it was like, oh my gosh, crime has just skyrocketed. And I'm sitting here going, that can't be true, because then that should have been something that was brought up when Chief Garcia was here. So now that we're getting more officers, what are the crime stats starting to look like?
Yeah, so crime in Dallas has gone down 5 years in a row. Last year, we had 43 less murders than we did the year before. So that's significant.
That is.
And we also had approximately 40 less deaths by vehicle last year. That was approximately 80-something families that didn't have to grieve over the holidays. And that's what happened the last year in Dallas. And we're continuing that trend downward right now. This year, as of today, we're 5 murders less than we were last year at this time. And another part on that, response times. Response times have gone down 11 months in a row. So I think the Dallas Police Department is really doing their job. We're not perfect, and we still have a way to go.
Of course.
And we have a few more tricks up our sleeves that's going to be coming out very soon. One of the things, and I'll let it out right now, one of the things is drone as a first responder. So we're going to be getting that hopefully sometime this month. We'll get a few of them up in the air, and they'll be able to go to certain priority calls and have eyes in the skies immediately and be able to get there before an officer can get there.
Okay, so that takes me back to when I saw you at Councilman Moreno's meeting, and one of your officers spoke about the drones, and that had to do with the gunshot detection. So I didn't know that you guys were still moving forward with that. So
yeah, so there's a few things on the technology side with gunshots, and we understand gunshots are bad throughout the entire United States.
Right.
One of the things that needs to be understood with that, first of all, I wish the penalty was higher. A Class A misdemeanor is if we catch someone randomly shooting a gun, They're going to get a Class A misdemeanor.
Okay, so for those of us that are in South Dallas and we're trying to prevent gentrification, just know that we could get a Class A misdemeanor, and he would like for us to get a stricter penalty put on us. And I'm not saying that I know anyone who's doing that, and neither am I, but just saying. It's just a joke.
I would prefer to see a stricter penalty, because if a bullet goes up, it has to come down.
Yes, it does.
Where's it going to come down? We don't
know.
So here in Texas, shooting a gun in the air randomly is the same penalty as selling one cigarette out of a store illegally. So it's the same penalty. And so I think we need to look at a stiffer penalty on that. But also for random gunfire, look, a lot of it's education and awareness, and it starts at the house also. Because first of all, you just shouldn't do it. Right?
Okay, yes.
So it starts at the house. And it's so hard to catch someone doing a random gunfire, because you have to be on the spot in that moment, in that minute.
And we're reporting it because we've heard it, and by the time you guys get over there, they're
and so when you call in, the simple question would be, okay, you heard a gunshot, right? And then I'll say, well, ma'am, who shot the gunshot? Well, I don't know. I heard it. Well, where did it come from? Well, I don't know. Well, what car were they in? Well, I don't know. So it's a lack of information to really have us
do anything about it. Right. Okay. Well, that is good to know. It's good to know that the drones are going to be out there putting eyes on us. So I don't want to talk about your secret sauce on that, but just be aware, guys, that we'll have eyes on us. So since I am a South Dallas native, I do want to take this opportunity to apologize for what happened at Exline Park when we were there. Those of us born and raised were on our best behavior. Those were transplants that were acting a fool. And I am embarrassed as new chief coming to my hood that you saw that and experienced that. But with that being said, South Dallas is known for, or has a reputation, perception that we have a lot of crime. And usually when you hear about us in the news, it's because body has been found dead or someone has been shot. So can you talk to me about what crime is looking like in South Dallas?
Well, crime's trending down in South Dallas also. And
yes, you heard that. Okay.
It is. It definitely is. And I feel like across all of Dallas, we're doing a really good job, but we have some really good NPOs that are really engaging in South Dallas. Also, not just to put people in jail, but to do the education and awareness piece. Because I will tell you, if you do something wrong, I'm a hard butt chief. I want you to go to jail. But what's more important to me is if we can stop you from doing something wrong on the education and prevention side, that's even more important. Okay. Because I'd rather us not have to take you to jail. But if you cross that line, understand, you're going to jail. You're going to take a ride.
Well, that's a very different take because I know a lot of people that follow the show, they're very hard on crime, lock people up, and you will be viewed as being very liberal in that space with not trying to do the prevention part. And I think that's very key if we do want to reduce crime. Yeah. So since y'all are not typically thought of as being a proactive institution, but a reactive institution, what are, and I hate to, I'm jumping all around, but it's a great conversation. What does that look like with changing the tide and taking you guys away from being reactive to being more proactive?
Yeah, so part of my history is doing long-term investigations, and you have to be very proactive where I came from. And I want to bring some of that to the police department. And one of the big initiatives that we've done is we're really working with the U.S. Marshals. And anyone that has a felony warrant, we are proactively going after you every single day. And those who are walking the streets that have felony warrants shouldn't be walking the streets. They should have to go to court for those felony warrants. Right. So we're going to do our job and help you go to court. We're going to find you and put you in. And I think they work hand in hand. You see crimes going down because we're taking some of the worst off of the street. When you take some of the worst off the street, crime will go down. Another thing that I'm doing in conjunction with the U.S. Attorney's Office to be very proactive is anyone that's walking the streets that have a prior felony arrest, and they're carrying a gun. First of all, they shouldn't be, right?
Yeah, I was going to say they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be, and you have an enhancement there. Instead of taking you to Dallas County, we're going to take you to the feds.
Oh, really?
And we have a U.S. attorney that's on board, that's taking some of these individuals, especially the worst of the worst again, the ones with 2 and 3 prior convictions.
Okay.
We're taking you federally if you're carrying a gun.
So, and please correct me if I'm wrong. It could be fuzzy on
I will.
this. Thank you. I called him the Mr. Comedian and not the Watchman comedian when I met him at the meet and greet. When you have your gun rights curtailed, state is a shorter amount of time than federal. Federal is for life, correct?
Well,
Or is it
so you have a minimum 5 years
Okay.
that you'll get, but you're gonna have to do 80% of that 5 years, right? And depending on your past criminal history, it can possibly go up to 20 years.
Okay.
So if you've been arrested and convicted, say 2 prior felonies, you might be looking at 20 years for carrying a gun. So we're gonna send a strong message, so letting you know, don't carry a gun. We start taking these individuals off the street that are illegally carrying guns, I think we'll see our murder rate continue to drop.
Awesome. In all the conversations that I've had and talking about, gun safety and gun rights, and I actually have a gun rights show coming up later on this month, never has that conversation been brought up with having stricter penalties and what to do when you're apprehending someone who has a past and they're carrying a weapon and they've obtained it illegally because, if you go to a gun show, you can still get it. Nobody has to do a background check on you. So, or you buy it from a friend or whatever. That's amazing.
I think it's a way that we're going to keep everybody safe in Dallas. If you're illegally carrying a gun, you should go to jail, and you shouldn't go to jail for 3 days and come back out and wait to go to court. You should go to jail.
Okay. Well, you are expediting things around here. So I do want you to know that we're having a discussion here with Chief Comeaux, the Dallas Police Department's chief. And although he has a great disposition, do not take that as him being a pushover, because you are definitely a welcome surprise that we've seen here in Dallas. And all of the news attention that you got when it came to the 287G program and declining it and standing firm in your decision. One, Lieutenant Tremise, yes, I did bug you about that because I told her, give him high fives, hugs, kisses, everything, because we were so proud of you in that moment that you just weren't caving in. And your position is more political than anything. And so it was refreshing to see someone come in and knowledgeable and worth his weight in salt say, hey, this is why we don't want to do this. So things have changed. And I feel like a political card was played with the governor threatening to pull money especially for FIFA, knowing that we're going to have so many people here. What was involved in you making tweaks to the policy in order to make Greg Abbott happy?
Well, let's first go back to 287G. And those who are listening who plays dominoes will understand this. All money ain't good money.
Boom.
So you have to make a decision sometimes. All money ain't good money. So I feel like we did the best thing that was for Dallas and the police department at that time. Now, with Governor Abbott's recent decision, we looked at our policy, and one of the things, we have to be in compliance with state.
Okay.
We have to be in compliance with the state to operate. And our policy was pretty much already in place. So what's happening in Dallas has been happening for years. And we don't do immigration stops. We don't stop someone on traffic just because we feel like, oh, this is a possibility they're an immigrant. Because first of all, how do you know there's a possibility that they're an immigrant?
Right.
Immigrants come in all shapes, sizes, and colors.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you can't just stop because of that. So with Governor Abbott's policy that came out, we had to do very little changing. And from when we made it official to yesterday, because I'm not quite sure about last night, we had 0 new arrests from that policy. So it's not a big change. It's not a big difference. we're going to continue to do what we've been doing. But if we come across someone that has a federal warrant, yes, we will take them to jail.
Right.
100% we will cooperate and take them to jail. But from day one when I got here, I always said we will cooperate and assist with the federal government. I got a lot of blowback in the first few weeks because of making that statement.
Yes, you did.
But we have to, and we will. So if someone has a warrant, we will take them to jail, right? But we're not immigration officers. We're not going to stand around looking for immigration cases. Now, if you commit a violation that you have to come in contact with us for, and we're arresting you for something that we would normally arrest you for, and you have an immigration hold on you, yes, ICE will be contacted at Dallas County Jail. But that's been in policy in Dallas forever.
Okay, so one, and this is something that you don't know about my show, is that it focuses on doing civic education. And I thought when you were before council and before the oversight committee, that it was very poignant to understand that the 287G program would not have joined you and ICE together, where ICE would have been assisting you guys, which was part of the perception that people had. And everybody was like, hey, take the money, take the money, take the money. And you brought up that it was a reimbursement program and there was no guarantee that you would get the money, and there was a quota attached to it. So if people were complaining about response times, I'm sure they would have really gone to the sewage facility, not down the toilet.
Yeah.
If you guys then all of a sudden became ICE agents. So I do want people to understand that we have to get away from these perceptions about what you guys are doing, and that the policy has already been there. I think, personal opinion, my voice, my opinion, it was just a campaign move.
You said that pretty well. You said that pretty well. So,
and two, it's FIFA. We're expecting tons of people to come, and to make that kind of threat, I felt like was just so disingenuous to all of the hard work that you've been doing during your first year here.
Look, like I said, we're very proactive as a police department of putting bad people in jail. We're going to put the worst of the worst in jail. We're going to put bad people in jail. I'll put our police department up against anybody's police department. And I don't think, sometimes I don't think Dallas realizes how good this police department is.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, and I joke with the officers that I know you've seen me joke with the officers that are with you. The ones that I know and all the guys that have retired, they have been great. I mean, I can still call them to this day and say, hey, got this problem. Hey, I got a neighbor with this kind of situation going on. Who do I need to put them in contact with? My street in South Dallas is well known because we had a nuisance person that was calling police on us left and right, all because she slept with one of the neighbors. And let me tell you something. Chief Garcia wouldn't come on the show because I personally called him and said, come get your boys, because they were hanging out at this person's house like they were her personal bodyguards. Now, as much as I love y'all and I joke around with the police officers that I know, and I feel like I'm always in great hands when I'm in y'all's presence, I don't expect y'all to be in my house whenever I just text someone. So you guys are very visible these days, and a lot of people appreciate that. I know over here in South Dallas we kind of have mixed feelings around that, but I'm running into more and more people that they like the visibility. So that was definitely a change that you made this year with having the guys out there more.
Well, we're also taking some units in South Dallas. We got a lot of phone calls about traffic, and that
with SM right being gone, yes.
Look, that people are just not obeying traffic laws. So I said, look, if they're not, and you want this, we're gonna put our motor units out there. Now, here's the problem with motors.
Yes.
They write a lot of tickets.
Yes, they do.
And they don't give a lot of breaks. And I'm afraid if they stop me, they're going to write me a ticket. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute.
I'm the chief of police. I don't trust them because they're very good at writing tickets, and that's what they do. So when they go out there, they'll regulate an area, and they'll make
Very
traffic.
tightly.
Oh man, and I'm proud of our motor unit. I'm proud of them. I want them to hear that I'm proud of them because I don't want them to write me. But
Okay, but wait, this is from the same person that was with Councilman Ridley getting pissed and being driven around and wanting to have your security detail pull over people so you could write them tickets.
look, we're writing a lot of tickets now, and I think it goes that we had 40 less deaths last year, approximately 40 less deaths. I don't remember the
From
exact number.
vehicle?
From vehicles.
Okay.
So I think that goes hand in hand, right?
Okay.
If you write more tickets, we can get some folks to slow down. If we get some folks to slow down, we'll have less deaths.
Okay.
If we get less people to run red lights and stop signs, we'll have less deaths. So
Very good. Yeah. Hats
it's
off
something.
to that.
And look, something else I want to
Yes.
touch on that I think is important for the Dallas area to know. All the chiefs of police in the DFW, we all talk and communicate. And so we're working together to keep the entire DFW safe, because if we do one thing and another department's not doing it, what good is it?
Right.
For the entire DFW.
Right.
So we talk on a regular, and I think some of the other chiefs are really doing a great job also. And I keep in touch with them, and they keep in touch with me. So it's really good for the DFW area.
Well, I know when Chief Arredondo was on, he did speak to that because criminals just don't stay in one city. And as much as people commute from Cedar Hill to Frisco and Fort Worth for work, criminals also travel across. So he definitely spoke to wanting you to be successful, because that meant fewer criminals were crossing over into Carrollton. So it's a great point that you bring up.
So let's talk about something else. I'm gonna take control right now, because there's something that I want to talk about.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll tell you what it is, and I think this is a perfect setting, because when it comes to flock cameras.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
I'm bringing it up before you.
Yes.
All right. Because a lot of people in certain communities feel like, well, I don't want big brother and sister watching me. I don't want big brother and sister watching me. Look,
the all-seeing-eye.
yeah. So flock cameras, we're not watching you, but we can see everything you've done. All right.
Yes.
So it's a difference.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, just say, and I'm going to do a hypothetical using you so it can be impactful.
Okay.
You walk out and somebody hits you across the head with a bat.
Right.
No one else is around.
That camera, I need that camera.
You want that camera.
Yes, I
do.
do.
So then what we'll do is we'll go to cross and don't cross at such and such time. We'll see if there's a camera there. All right. If we don't, say there's not a camera at the intersection. If there's a camera at the intersection, we can go back and see what took
happened.
place.
Okay.
Right? And if there's not a camera in the area and you say, hey, it was a white Cadillac Escalade and I saw him get in and leave. Well, then we can put in white Cadillac Escalade, and we can see if it comes up. The time, the area.
Okay.
And if we see this white Escalade Cadillac, now we can see where it would be going and eventually get a plate.
Right.
We get a plate, we get the registration, we get the person,
Bring somebody
we see
in
the
for
last
question.
area that it's in, we can stop them, helps us solve a crime. If nothing happens at that intersection, there's no one looking at that camera,
right,
watching people.
Gotcha.
So this is a way that we can really keep everyone safer in Dallas and solve crimes.
All jokes aside, I did say that cameras being placed all over was the greatest thing that could happen to black men. Because if you weren't doing anything, you could smile and say cheese because you were on the camera, and nobody could say that they saw you across town doing something you didn't have any business doing. So I would always make sure that I was doing a photo shoot at every ATM that I went to.
Timestamp where I'm at, and I'm being good.
Because people like to think because I'm 5'11" and I have a resting face that isn't always the friendliest, that I'm always
I didn't say that. You said it.
No, yes,
okay.
That
you
is
said
perception. Yes. So, ring cameras. So if they're, and I know your officers have spoke about, talking to neighbors. I've had officers, contact me about, did you happen to catch anybody walking through during this time? And we've given them information. And I know that has been a big push with you guys to help feed into the flock camera program. Yes?
Yeah, look, even ring cameras we saw some crimes off of ring cameras. And ring cameras can be very helpful. You look at it and you get a suspect's information. We can take that and do an analysis on your video, and it has solved crimes in certain instances.
Okay, so don't be, weary about sharing the information, because if the crime happened to you and the neighbor had captured that information on their ring camera, you would want them to give that information.
So, and I'm asking, especially with random gun violence, with random gun shooting, if you catch someone on the ring camera shooting, like, we want that information because we want to stop it. But that's one way that we can help, make the area or the neighborhood safer. Because a lot of times people do catch things like that on ring cameras. Matter of fact, I know there's one case that was caught on a ring camera, and we were able to make a successful arrest based off of an individual shooting a gun.
Awesome.
And when we went there, he was, of course, said, no, I didn't do it. I never did it.
Of course not, but baby,
there's the
you
ring
got your
camera.
own
Oh,
film.
there it is. Come on, let's take a ride.
Oh my gosh. So now with Buckner Terrace, and I know this has been a problem in South Dallas, and I would say because of you guys' higher presence, we have not been seeing rubber marks in the streets with drag racing and people being silly and doing donuts. So are we seeing a decrease in that? Because Buckner Terrace and South Dallas had the same issues.
Yeah, so we have a street task force racing squad.
Okay.
And they get information from all over the place, and from social media, informants. And when we find out that they're going to go out and race at a certain area, we meet them there.
Oh,
and
hello.
we make a lot of arrests.
Hello.
So we're looking at you, we see you, we hear you, and we're coming to get you if you're out there doing street takeovers.
So this whole thing of making sure that we have enough officers is really playing into the advantage of helping to decrease the crime rate, although it was already trending downward. And I know there were some areas that we may have had spikes or higher numbers than what we would have liked, but you guys' presence circulating around really does pay off.
It does. And we're doing our very best. Look, like I said, we're not perfect, and we want to get better. But as long as we keep trending in the right direction, I'm happy with it.
So what are some areas from my little neck of the woods that you are having your officers focus on?
Well, let's just say this. The hanging out piece. If you're just hanging out, what are you hanging out for?
We like to hang out.
But what are you gathering for?
Like, you know we like to do
places,
that at car washes and at parks and stuff.
But what you doing? Use that car wash and go. And why you hanging out at a car wash that's broke? A car wash that you can't wash your car at.
Point taken. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we want to put eyes on those things, and we're gonna see what you're doing. And if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, we're gonna make you move from there.
Yeah, because I know, even from personal experience, I've seen transactions take place. I can't always speak to what kind of transaction, but there were transactions taking place.
And normally they happen at car washes that don't wash cars. Let's just keep it real. That's what we do. So,
Dale Davenport would probably argue with you that that was not always the case.
Well, it's not always the case. All right, now I'll agree. It's not always the case, but there's a possibility and a chance that it is the case. And we're gonna sit down and we'll watch. And we'll have some undercovers watching to see what's going on, and then next thing you know, you see us swooping in because they saw something that shouldn't have been happening there.
Okay, so I'm ready to do my ride along with your officers because, one, I'm going to be a ham, so I don't know how they're going to handle me being in the car with them.
That's going to be someone else's job.
You know what? Because I'm going to get
You
on
ain't
their
riding
nerves.
with me. You ain't riding with me.
We could go on tour together. What are you
I'm gonna
talking
put that
about?
on another officer. Sorry, whatever officer that's gonna be with. Sorry,
Brian Joseph. We're gonna put it on Brian Joseph over on Bear Street, and I can already hear him because he said he was gonna be tuning in and listening. I can already hear him saying, "No, you're not. You are not gonna be riding home with me." So I know when you were at X-Line, that was my question that I asked about the retired officers, because I know some of my guys that retired did receive letters to come back to DPD, especially with the big push to get more officers on board.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I was told is that they were going to be working on cold cases and not necessarily that they were going to be out in the streets. Because I could say if I was retired, I would want to be on patrol like that.
Yeah. So look, we're ready to think outside the box.
Okay.
I mean, there's an area that someone can come back and help us in a sworn or non-sworn position. All it does is make it better for the police department, right? If we can get somebody to work on cold cases, that might be one officer that we won't have to put there now if they can come and do some investigative work for us. So we're going to think outside the box. We're looking at the lateral programs also. And what we're seeing now is we've had a couple laterals come to the Dallas Police Department, which is really good. Our attrition rate was the lowest this year
Really?
that it has been in a very long time. So
Wow.
you have less Dallas officers leaving.
Because that's been part of the issue with getting the numbers up is that we've had such a large number of guys. Either it was time for them to retire or because of the run on the pension, they were like, let me get my money and go.
Well, the city's working on the pension and fixing that and getting it the right way. I know they finally made an agreement. We have a competitive pay. And I think I'm working really hard on the morale and culture just to make sure that people don't want to leave. And what happens a lot of times, officers will look at the smaller police departments and they say, oh man, I can make 8,000 more there, 10,000 more there. But when they get there, they realize, wait a minute, I'm going to be on patrol for 20 years.
Yes.
If I stayed at DPD, I'd have an opportunity to go to
move
homicide,
up,
to go to SWAT, to go to narcotics, go to robbery. And they won't have those opportunities in smaller police departments. So then that 6 to 8 to 9 grand is not as important.
That is a great point because that, once again, that was another point that Chief Arredondo brought up was that the experience, like where else can you go and fly a helicopter? Where else can you go and be on an equestrian team? You know, be, doing dives in a lake to get evidence or a body. That the experience that your officers get is just so phenomenal that they literally can leave DPD and then go be a chief somewhere else.
Very true. Very true. I'm telling you, DPD is one of the best police departments in the United States. I need you to believe me and push that because it's true. And it's obvious by the recruiting. You go to any other police department right now, the majority of them are having trouble recruiting. We're not.
Wow. Okay, so we're pushing that narrative, and I'm not saying it's a narrative because
it's the truth.
I meet all of your officers, and I've been friends with them for a very, very long time. So I know what comes out of your police department. But to understand that, one, not to bring you into the debacle that's going on with City Hall and spending money on an exercise that is not going to save the taxpayers money. We should be putting that money into what was promised in 1987, which was a new training facility.
Yeah. Look, that was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing moment for me. I'll tell you, I was extremely happy and proud when I got this chief job. And when I went to that shooting range to qualify, I could not believe what I saw with my eyes. And then I made my way.
Talk about what you saw. I mean, because
I saw the 9th largest city in the United States, one of the best police departments in the United States, having to qualify at a subpar range, at a terrible range. There's no other way to put it. It's terrible. So this is something that's important. Us qualifying, us having the ability to possibly take someone's life.
Right.
You need a facility.
Top tier, honey.
Top tier.
Yes.
So the proper training can be obtained at that facility. So I was disappointed in that. And then I went to the academy and I couldn't believe my eyes either. And then I started doing my research. And I think it was May 27th, 1987, when they said they were going to get a brand new academy.
And here it is, 2026.
I think that's actually the exact date that I graduated high school. And I'm not young.
Oh my God. If I wasn't a fall baby, I would have been a freshman when you were a senior. So that is a travesty. As much as I said, Chief Hall was here. more and more and more were being put on you guys' plate. Rounding up the homeless. Dealing with mental health crisis calls.
Let's talk about that too. Let's talk about the homeless.
Okay. Yes.
So one of the things with the homeless that we've just started is a homeless outreach team. It's called the Hot Team.
Okay.
And some people feel like we should be homeless is not a crime, and I agree. Homeless is not a crime. But one of the things I will tell you, every zip code that I go to,
yes,
in Dallas,
yes,
we get complaints about the homeless.
75215. We sure do complain about it. Yeah.
And so what we do with this Hot Team, we give them extra training, and we work hand in hand with our nonprofit organizations.
Okay.
So we go out and just say we're going to do I'll use the term a cleanup in an area.
Yes.
We're going to enforce the laws in an area. We'll go out there 6 weeks before we're going to enforce the laws. So we're going to enforce the laws in June 1st.
Okay.
We're going to go out there 6 weeks before, and we're going to bring a nonprofit organization with us.
Okay.
And we're going to say, hey, June 1st,
you're going to get
we're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Here's someone that can help you get out.
Get into the system to get those wraparound services.
And we're going to keep going out there every 2 weeks to let them know what we're going to do June 1st. And we're going to do it with the approach of working with nonprofit organizations.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like we all of a sudden pop up somewhere and say, boom, we're here, we're taking everyone to jail. We're giving a necessary warning. We're trying to show that we do have some empathy, but we also have to keep everyone safe. And if I'm getting complaints that the homeless are, say, picking on the elderly, something I have to do about that.
Right.
But we're doing it with a strategy approach, and we're working with nonprofits to make this happen.
Yes, I tell you, so I run half marathons.
See, I knew you were crazy.
Mm-hmm. You have to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm 11 weeks out from targeting a sub 30 5K. So catch me if you can.
Oh, no. After 100 yards, I won't catch you.
So I run all over Dallas. My long run route, well, one of them is from my house, Harwood, Statler, all the way down to Omni. It used to be, I used to run by you guys' headquarters before then I would head back into South Dallas. So I knew a lot of the places where the encampments were happening. And of course, I hate to tie this to politics, but it's coffee and politics with Sidney Walker. So, we see the urgency when it's election time. We see the uptick. So with the Hot Team, it sounds like you guys are doing this year round and not during particular times when big events like FIFA, Super Bowl, State Fair, all that kind of stuff, because that's been the history in Dallas that, oh my gosh, North Dallas is going to come to South Dallas, so guess what, we got to go hide everybody off so they see that it's not scary over here.
No, this is here to stay.
Okay, good.
As long as I'm the chief of police, this is here to stay, because it's something that everyone's telling me, no matter what zip code I go to.
Right.
And I'm going to listen. I said when I first got here, I'm going to look, listen, and learn. And I feel like I'm going to continue to look, listen, and learn.
Yeah.
Because if we work together as partners, police and community, we're going to make it better.
Awesome. So you've heard it here from the man himself that he is partnering with us, the community, even those of us that like to start trouble and crack jokes. So, forensics, genealogy. I met you at Kathy Stewart. I showed up just because of you being the new chief, and I had someone whispering in your ear about that. Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. So I have my ways too. So, what are you doing to really capitalize on, using that DNA data that can be gathered at crime scenes to find perpetrators that aren't necessarily in you guys' database?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing where you hear about DNA, especially it's on rape cases.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's so important that we get, all the DNA we can. And oftentimes when you get the proper DNA, you end up solving multiple cases. Because a lot of criminals that go on the line of rapists They don't just rape one.
Right.
And the DNA is so important. So we do our best to obviously capture DNA when we can. If you get arrested, we will capture your DNA and then we'll run it.
Okay.
To some instance, and it helps solve crimes.
What DNA are you getting off of people when you arrest them?
Well, sometimes, depending on where you're going, they have to swab your mouth.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
So,
see, this is why I need to go on that ride along, and I want to make sure I go on the ride along so I can go down to Lucera and see the full process from beginning to end.
And this is where collaboration is important too. Like us working with the federal government, and we put our systems together and help identify and solve more cases.
That's great. As I got into it from a girlfriend just telling me to do my DNA to find my dad, and we literally treated it as a cold case. Somebody got DNA, and we're trying to find out who this potential person was, and it was very eye-opening to learn that your Ancestry.com and 23andMe, those databases are not something that you guys have access to.
No.
That there are specific databases that are allowed to share this information with you guys. But although, yes, typically you want to think of as sexual assault cases, but any violent crime can be a flag for getting someone's DNA. So one case in particular that I remember working with my analyst on, DNA was found on drug paraphernalia.
Yes.
And they were able to find who sold the drugs to the individuals that ended up passing away. So is that something that you guys have experience dealing with, or with your background being from the DEA, is that something that you're wanting to beef up in your department?
So let's talk about drugs. And since we talked about drugs, let's go to overdose. This is one of the things that's it's a problem. This fentanyl poisoning is a problem right now. So we have joined hands with the Drug Enforcement Administration, with some DPD officers, and we're hyper-focused in that area. And we're working every single day in that area to try to knock down some of this fentanyl selling and using.
Yes.
And it's working. We've actually got
I'm so
we
proud
solved
of
a couple
you.
of cases.
Thank you for coming to us.
Yeah, we solved a couple cases for some overdose. Because one thing you have to understand and realize, drug dealers don't care about anything but money.
No, baby. That's right.
They don't care about your life. And then
just ain't Nino Brown. Just block that.
You're going all the way back to New Jack City.
Look, we're Gen Xers. We know about that.
So you have to understand, they don't care about anything other than money, right?
Right.
And then some people say, well, that's a bad business model if these people are dying. The unfortunate thing is, here in the United States, there's always someone else in line.
Exactly.
That's addicted. So we're working in that space to try to solve some problems.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, gosh, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I just had a moment that I just wanted you to know that we're proud of you.
I appreciate that. And
we're happy that you're here. And we support you. We got 10 toes down, 4 flat tires, all that, okay?
See, now I feel good with my reference, all money ain't good money. See, people understand. If they know those, people understand.
Down for you like 4 flat tires, baby. Come on, Johnny in Arlington gave me that one. Yeah. And he's from New Orleans, Louisiana as well. So are some of my folks. So I felt that when I heard your voice. I was like, he ain't from Texas.
And I don't want anyone to get offended when I say, hey, baby, how you doing?
Because that's how they talk, okay?
100%.
So I want to close this out here with FIFA, because I watched that council meeting, and when you said we're going to be good, I fell out laughing. So I was like, oh, baby, we're going to have a good time when you come on here in Dallas. So how are we going to be good?
So here's a great thing about Dallas.
Yes.
They practice it every year. And you say, well, what do you mean they practice it every year?
Right.
You have UT versus OU doing the state fair.
Yes.
So let's multiply that by 45 days. Good practice.
Very much so.
So we're ready. If something bad happens, let's hope it doesn't. We'll be ready to respond. We'll do our very best to take care of it immediately. And that's what I mean, we're good. Look, you're in good hands in the city of Dallas. Everything's not going to always be perfect, but if something bad happens, we're ready for it. We're ready to respond.
I mean, in all of my Dallas sites that have been here, because, you were down in Houston before coming here, and, lots of similarities.
There's big differences too.
Very much so.
And I'm really vibing with Dallas right about now.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you are vibing with Dallas, because I'm still kind of taking back that the U of H area is now called Midtown.
Well, when I worked patrol in Houston, that was kind of hoodish.
Third Ward, baby.
It is called Midtown now.
Yes.
Third and Old Fort Ward. You wouldn't want to walk there at night, but now you can.
I'm a South Dallas girl. Somebody saw me going out to go run, and maybe this is because of your officers that I'm so arrogant. 8 o'clock at night, dark night, not summertime evening, dark. Got on my hip, and I'm going for a run, and I don't care. I'm like, walk up on me if you want to. You gonna limp back, Cletus. I'm gonna credit that to you guys being out there so I can be so arrogant that I can go run all over Dallas, rain, shine, sun up to sundown.
Well, look, I tell you, as the police chief, I feel the love, and I do believe, and I'll keep saying this, every zip code we go to, I'm not hearing we hate the Dallas Police Department. I don't hear that. I hear that people want to be safe, and they want us to do our job, and they want us to be transparent. Well, I'm about all of those things.
Yes.
And I'm going to be fully transparent. When we do something right, even if you question it or someone else questioned it and it was right, I'm going to come out and say, hey, this was right and this is why it was right. But equally, if we do something wrong, I'm going to come out and say, yes, we did this wrong. And I haven't been shy when officers have done something wrong to terminate them.
Yes.
Since I've been here, there's been a lot of terminations. But
yes,
truly, I didn't terminate them. They terminated themselves by doing something wrong.
Right.
So we're going to hold ourselves accountable, and we're going to hold ourselves accountable to the community also.
Okay. Well, someone is peeking through the door, and I want to make sure that I give him the pits of hell today. So, in closing, one, thank you so much for giving your time to come on the show. I know I have some audience members here, and I'm sure they have a few questions for you. So, final thoughts for...
Oh man, I didn't see people back there.
See, yes. That's why I took this seat, because if something happened, then I needed,
That's all right. My man Jerry's back there. He won't let anything happen to me.
Yes, no, he will not. He is tasked with keeping you safe.
He does a really good job too.
Go ahead. Final thoughts.
Look, happy to come on. Really enjoying Dallas. Looking forward to being here for some time, even though it's a lot of hours. I work a lot of hours, and that phone rings in the middle of the night. You go to a lot of
places too, yes.
But going to a lot of places, I feel like it's necessary. And
yes.
I feel like
have been very
being
visible.
part of the chief, you have to be visible. I need people to know who I am, and I need to be able to listen.
Yes.
And that's part of what I've been trying to do.
Well, I do appreciate it. Again, I do have an open door policy. So if you ever feel the need to come back, please do. I will be happy to have you on. I do want to have the hot team on.
We should do that.
So I will get in touch with Miss Allison. Thank you so much for giving me. Let's
give her a shout out.
Yes,
because she's doing an amazing job.
Yes, she is. And Dallas. I asked for your drink. So you're the second person that's come on Coffee and Politics that made it green tea in politics.
This is not green tea. It is black tea. Okay. Black tea.
Well, I was ordering green tea
don't
for
do
you
that
today.
To me. Black tea.
That's what was in the email. Okay, so anyways.
Well, I'm going to have to get on her about that. I thought she knew me better than that.
I got your back, Allison. I have your back. Okay, so if he tries to give you some shenanigans, call me, girl. I'll be right there. Outside, I'll take him. I feel like I could take him. Okay, one, I'm taller than he is. But anyway.
Oh, wow. Where's Jerry at? Oh man.
Next weekend,
Shots fired.
Shots fired. So next weekend, I had Councilman Chad West on the show, and we are going to talk about city-owned real estate. I told him I do not want to talk about City Hall. We've had enough conversations about City Hall, so we're going to talk about some of these other buildings that the city has acquired and what it's doing or not doing with those assets. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. And please stay. We want you to stay. All right, guys. You take care.